Yo, what's up guys? I'm here with my round 1 match 1 of Smogon World Cup. For those who don't know how the tournament works, I will leave a link in the description because I don't want to go too much into detail, but basically you're put into a pool with 3 other players and you guys fight for the best record, and the teams with the best records make it to playoffs. So that's pretty much how that works. But anyway, we're playing SSOU, my main tier. I'm representing US Northeast, and my opponent, Damien, is representing Oceania. So let's get right into it. Going to my team choice and things like that. So basically I wanted to use a Slowbro because my opponent likes to use a lot of Urshifu plus Galarian Slowking, and Slowbro is basically the only way to deal with that consistently, like taking a hit from Urshifu plus the Future Sight. Because say something like Tapu Fini, yes, it can handle Urshifu, but it will just get destroyed by Future Sight afterwards. So I wanted to use something sturdy into that, and Slowbro was just the best thing. And yeah, just very standard team on my side. The title of the team is actually Standard Strong because like the 6 most standard mons ever, but very solid. Just Slowbro, very pivot heavy team with Slowbro, Landorus U-turn, Tornadus U-turn into strong attackers in Weavile Heatran. So yeah, how I'm gonna go about this game is basically just well positioned Heatran destroys his team. Just get that in versus things like Scizor, Clef, Tornadus-T, and basically get a KO every time. Weavile plus Future Sight is devastating to his team as well. The only thing that can really take a triple axle plus Future Sight is Scizor, which is still going to take a billion, and then everything else gets ravaged. So Clefable can actually tank Future Sight plus knockoff, but that's pretty much the only thing. And yeah, that's what I'm going for here. And Slowbro is amazing in this matchup as well, because it just comes in on everything, clicks teleport Future Sight for free. That's actually the type of matchup Slowbro wants to see, where it can just come in on everything. Things like Pex, Clef. If it's not Calm Mind, that's basically fodder for Slowbro. Tornadus, things like that. Just comes in for free, teleports out, and I can position my strong attackers versus those. So that's what I'm going for. I need to be mindful of the Dragapult. That's pretty much it. And yeah, so let's hop right into the game. So I'm going to be leading off with my Landorus, as I felt was the most neutral lead versus anything, whether it be Dragapult. I felt was the most likely because that's pretty good matchup into me. But these are Clef, which isn't bad, as I can just hard switch out. The reason I hard switch out is because I don't want to U-turn as he stays in, and I take Rocky Helmet for no reason. So yeah, just best to go to Slowbro, as he switches out immediately to Torn. So this gave me a lot of information. First off, him switching out reveals to me that his Clefable doesn't have knockoff, because if he had knockoff, you definitely click it there. There's no reason not to. So he's likely Thunder Wave plus Aromatherapy or like Calm Mind. And I guess if he's Calm Mind, he felt that it doesn't make sense to stay on the Landers because those sets cannot touch it very well. So but I just go to my Slowbro because it covers for everything. If he's knockoff, Slowbro is my best thing to take it because I'm Copa Berry, and I don't need my Copa Berry in this game. He doesn't have a strong dark type, so it's best to just go hard to that to see what he wants to do, as he just switches out. So like I said, it gave me a lot of information about his Clef, as I Future Sight as he Toxics, which is fine. If anything, Slowbro being toxic is actually better for me than say his Clef Thunder Waving it, because then I don't have to be concerned about getting paralyzed on crucial turns. So I actually prefer that, and Slowbro's not going to be staying in any longer than like 2 turns in this game anyway. So that's great for me, as I just Future Sight there, knowing that he'll likely do something like knockoff first, as maybe the Future Sight and then teleport into Weavile. So great position for me, as I can just click the triple axle, no reason to predict. My opponent likes to play very aggressively, so they don't want to take any unnecessary risk and go for something like knockoff as he stays in or something. So just go for the triple axle, just my best play, as if he leaves the hippo in, he's just gonna die in one because I'm banded. So but it makes the better play going to scissor to scout, as like I said, he takes over half from that, 59% from the combination of axle plus future sight. As I pull the switch into my Heatran, knowing that he has to roost, he quite literally has to, because if I come in later on with the same future sight triple axle combination, somebody's gonna die. So he has to roost there, as I get the free switch into my Heatran, and it's game time. So he is gonna go to his hippo, and I have eruption on this Heatran. The reason I don't go for eruption immediately is because I know he's gonna go to hippo, and what I don't want is him scouting out the scouting out my set. Basically, I'll go for eruption, he won't die, then he switches out. I don't want that. I want this hippo dead. So kind of take the risk here of having to hit Magma Storm, and I felt like it was a much better play, because if I hit, this hippo is dead. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is, if I had eruption, he'd be able to go to like Pex and then knock something up. I don't want any of that. So I do connect the Magma Storm, and Magma plus Magma Chip is basically a guaranteed KO on hippo, because there's like 38%. After leftovers, he's at 68. Then after Magma Chip, which is 12, he's at 56, and then eruption does 56 min. So as long as I hit, his hippo is gone. So eruption, knock that out, and gone. So don't have to deal with rocks for the entirety of the game, which is amazing for me. I'm actually double defog on this team, which is now useless because his stuff rock is dead. But anyway, hippo being dead is fantastic, as I just don't have to deal with rocks, like I said. So that's great for me, as he was the Polt. So I'm gonna pivot to my Ferrothorn here. It's just the best play. If he happens to be specs with Hydro Pump, Ferro covers for that, covers for Shadow Ball and Thunder Wave, which he has. I didn't want to go to Landorus in case he was, specs with a water move. I get blown away. Felt kind of made no sense to go hard to that. So Ferrothorn is the all-around best play, especially because it's the least useful. So he reveals to be Thunder Wave, so that tells me that he likely boots Polt, with Hex and all of that. So that's good information, as even Torn walls it, kind of. So yeah, there's that. As I get paralyzed, it doesn't really matter. I click knockoff there, which again doesn't really matter too much, because his Torn beats me 1v1, as he's gonna show that Heat Wave later, as you guys are gonna see. So yeah, I go to my Torn on his Torn to scout for the Heat Wave. I do just U-turns out, as I U-turn because it's free this time. Even if he has helmet, I just heal that off with the regen, and I get to scout and see what his clef is. So for him being helmet shows me that he's not Calm Mind, and he reveals the Thunder Waves. So Thunder Waves to cover for the Heatran coming in. I'm never going Heatran there, because that thing destroys his team. So yeah, I'm not going to that. Slowbro is always the best play because it covers for everything. As our future sight here, this is set up for Heatran plus future sight, or whatever the case. As he goes hard to Polt, and I go to Ferro. So I'll go to Ferro because I don't need, like I said, I don't need health on it, and I figured he'd likely go for something like Wisp to try to catch Landorus, because that can take a Hex. So just felt it was the best play to go to Ferro, because it's just to cover all bases. Hex wouldn't do much damage, so I don't mind it. As I get paralyzed again, it just switches out. So it's annoying, but again, not gonna matter too much, because my Ferrothorn's actually walled by his Torn. It's not like I can punish it, go for Garaball or something. I'm knockoff grass moves, so I'm actually just completely walled, as he goes to his Torn, and Heat Waves reveals that. So again, good info, as I'm able to U-turn out my Slowbro once again. No reason to let my Torn take a Toxic, as he actually Toxic's expecting me to stand, but thankfully I'm faster, so I'm able to U-turn out and get my Slowbro in on that. As he U-turns back to Polt, future sight again. Basically, again, just trying to set up for Heatran and or Weavile plus Future Sight. As this time I go to Landorus knowing that he's not going to Wisp because I went to Ferrothorn last time. So if I go to that, you're getting no damage off. You're basically losing a turn as I'll be able to just knock something off along with Future Sight. So I figured he'd go for Hex, expecting that. But I go to Landorus, mid-ground. This covers for everything. As U-turn out knowing that he cannot stay in because he would basically die to a knockoff if I have that plus Future Sight. So U-turn knowing that he has to switch, and the Torn takes a Future Sight, meaning that he's in knockoff range. So knockoff is free. As I go to my Weavile, just click knockoff and knock off the Clef's helmet, which is good for me because now when I U-turn my Landorus, I don't have to worry about getting chipped. So you know, that's good. As here, pretty important turn. So I could actually knock off again, knowing that the double to pull is pretty predictable. Because what you don't want is me going to Slowbro, teleporting again, repositioning Heatran. So I figured he would double to Bolt, but it's like, do I need to make that play? No. Now, would it just end the game if I did and it worked? Yes, it would, but I don't need to make that play because I have a very favorable matchup. So like I know he would, but it's also like I don't need to make a play like that. So instead I decided to mid-ground to Landorus as it still covers for the Clef staying in, and it covers for the Dragapult double, because as you're gonna see, he does make that exact play. So had I double knocked off, which I considered, he just lost the game. But again, I don't need to make a play like that. I can play a longer game. I'd rather play a safer 50 turn game than, you know, risk it. Not that I necessarily need Weavile to win, but it's like I just don't feel the need to risk that, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I toxic the Pulse knowing that he's just gonna Wisp, and I U-turn the following turn as he hexes for like 40%. But the thing is, I don't even need my Landorus. It's very trash into his team. Torn walls it, Clef walls it, so it's whatever. As once again, I go to my Torn, I U-turn knowing that he has to switch because knockoff plus toxic damage would basically KO Pult, so he cannot stay in there, as Pult is like the only way for him to make progress versus my team. So finally get the switch into Heatran, and I just fire off a Magma Storm to do maximum damage to the incoming Pex, as Magma into Earth Power basically do 80% as he knocks me off, knocks my boots off, which doesn't matter because his Stealth Rocker is dead. As Eruption is free because either Pex dies or something comes in and takes a billion. So Torn comes in and nearly dies. As here, no reason to not Earth Power is free, but Torn can do nothing beside what U-turn. So the freest Earth Power of all time gets clicked and the Pex goes down. So that's amazing for me, as I was one of his switch-ins to Weavile dead. So that's great. So he goes to Pult and doubles to Clef, I assume predicting Ferrothorn would have come in, or Landorus. No, Landorus would have made sense, Ferrothorn, as he wants to heal Bell, because again, Pulse, one of his main ways to try and, you know, win this game, so he can't have his status. So makes sense. As here I just leech seed because again, there's no drawback. His Clef is shown to be a set that can't touch Ferrothorn. Doesn't have knockoff, flamethrower, or anything. The last two moves are Soul Bolt, Moonblast. So leech seed is basically always free versus Clef, so it's gonna keep applying that pressure, keep my foot on the gas, and just leech seed whatever wants to come in. As I catch the Scissor upon switch. Then I go to Slowbro. The reason I go to Slowbro is that in case he decided to knock off, again, Slowbro is the best thing to take it, and or if he even decided to like SD into knockoff, I would be able to tank that and then teleport out to Heatran and continue to do more damage to his team. But he doesn't, goes to Torn, I'm assuming to just avoid that, as U turns out Goes to Torn, U-turns out to Polt as I Scald, knowing that that's coming. Because the thing is, you can't go to Clef. If he goes to Clef, that's just a free teleport back to Trance. So you kind of have to go Polt every time to avoid that situation. So knowing that, again, just keep applying pressure to this Polt. This is the only threat to my team at this point. So do a nice 18% as he hexes. Finally catches my Ferrothorn there. As I get paralyzed again for the, for the third time. But it doesn't really matter. As I actually stay in Savage, knowing that he's not going to Heat Wave, because if he Heat Waves into Slowbro, I'm able to teleport back, and it's just a really messy situation for him. And the thing is, I don't want to switch to Slowbro actually, because that lets Dragapult back in, and you know, it's going to annoy my team or potentially get a kill, because Ferrothorn will be 2 KO'd if it comes back in. Landorus is gonna die, and then the only thing that could come in is like Torn, which I don't want to have to do that. So actually he's just stay in, knowing that he's not gonna Heat Wave there and knock off. And his Scizor takes another pretty decent hit as I Leech Seed there. As he goes to Clef, I go to Slowbro to cover for everything. Not really cover for everything, but it also cover, well, I guess it does, covers for the Torn switch. But Frigicite there. As now at this point, I've conditioned my opponent to think I'm gonna keep going to Ferrothorn on this Dragapult. So Torn is technically free, as Hex does absolutely no damage. He basically healed me there. I was gonna get that health back as I U-turn. So U-turn again, knowing that he cannot stay in because he will die to any hit plus Future Sight. So just keep up the momentum as Heatran comes back in to basically destroy somebody else. As Eruption, do a nice 43% to the Polt, as 50% Polt basically means you can never switch into Slowbro again. Skull is just going to instantly kill him. So that is fantastic for me, as you Thunder Waves there, basically hoping I choke. Because his way to win at this point is to Thunder Wave my Heatran, then SD with Scizor. If he gets a full para, as you know, he's SD'd and knocks off, he can actually win the game. So I'm never gonna let that happen, as he Thunder Waves, like I said, hoping for a choke, as he hexes again, hoping and fishing for a para, as that's a knockoff, knowing that he's likely gonna go for that, even if he doesn't get it. So I knock off and knock out the Dragapult, and that is game, because Heatran is just gonna guarantee beat the last 3, as there's nothing you can do. As you guys are gonna see, I have Taunt for Clef, so even, you know, Thunder Wave's not gonna save him. So go to my Slowbro, no reason to throw out the Pharaoh, essentially preserving the 6-0, as I am going to instantly teleport to Heatran, giving him no chances, as I just taunt, and yeah, he's gonna try to Thunder Wave. But yeah, this Eruption there, maybe to the Magma Storm just to trap the Clef. It doesn't really matter at this point. Moonblast for negligible damage as a Magma, and his only hope at this point is that I'm like Flame Body, and he can chip me with Heat Wave, but that's not even the case. So Magma again, maybe sort of just Eruption, but like I said, it doesn't really matter what I go for at this point. As I believe I Eruption, yeah, it's Eruption again, knock out the Clef, and that's gonna be game, because like I said, Heatran sweeps. So yeah, there's that. My team, I think, was actually like 6-7 at this point, so we really needed this win, and I'm glad I was able to get this win. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully be back with my next 2 games. So yeah, see you all next time. Peace.